violence or no other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, at school, in my car, I can still get shot by the police, but I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.
What's good, YouTube? It's a Black Gen Z Mindset. Make sure you go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe, and let's get into the video.
And arrested for shooting and killing a mom at a bowling alley just waived his first court appearance before a judge. We just got the mugshot for 25-year-old Joshua Fleetwood. He's accused of shooting Lakevia Jackson several times outside the Metro Fun Center.
Dang. So they got him. Joshua Fleetwood. This is the man who apparently shot and killed Young Thug's baby mama, Lakevia Jackson, over a bowling ball, a dispute over a bowling ball. I mean, this is Atlanta for you guys. And I'm trying to show you, I'm trying to reveal to you, I'm trying to tell you that these super gremlins are on demon time.
In Southwest Atlanta late last month, police now tell us Jackson was with a group that got into an argument with the suspect and his date. The fight got more intense in the parking lot, leading to the gunfire. He is now facing charges of felony murder.
Now, the gunman accused of shooting and killing a mother after an argument over a bowling ball will stay in jail. Channel 2's Michael Seiden is live outside the Fulton County Jail, where the suspect was scheduled to make his first court appearance in front of a judge, Michael.
That's right, Lori. We were actually inside the courtroom here on the first floor of the Fulton County Jail. We were hoping we may hear something from him and his attorney, but he decided to waive his first appearance, which is usually common when somebody is facing who we're looking at. This is 25-year-old Joshua Fleetwood. He's charged with felony murder, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, and possession of a firearm during the commission of a felon. Now, you may remember
So he's already a convicted felon. He's in possession of a firearm. Shocker there. I'm sure this guy has a rap sheet that is extensive. And this continues to happen in the A, where these guys who are not supposed to be on the streets, or you would think aren't supposed to be on the streets because of the 3-strike rule and all this stuff, right? You would think that these guys wouldn't be able to move the way they do, but here they are at the bowling alley on demon time.
Police say Fleetwood shot and killed 31-year-old Lakevia Jackson after an argument over a bowling ball. Yeah, pretty ridiculous, at the Metro Fun Center last month. Now, police say Fleetwood was on a date there when he got into an argument with Jackson's family. That argument spilled into the parking lot. Someone from each side of that argument grabbed guns and began shooting. Police say one of those bullets fatally wounded Jackson, who we know shared a child with Grammy award-winning rapper Young Thug. Now, after the shooting, I did have a chance to speak with Jackson's mother. Obviously, she was extremely distraught, very, very upset about what happened, but she did tell me by phone that she wanted her daughter to be remembered as sweet, kind, and loving. Now, as we mentioned, this suspect, he is a convicted felon. I've actually been digging into his criminal history, and I'll have much more on that starting on Channel 2.
Uh-oh. So here we go.
Action News at 4. For now, we are live outside the Fulton County Jail in Northwest Atlanta. I'm Michael Seiden, Channel 2 Action News.
Yeah, such a difficult story. Hopefully, for this family, it's the beginning of justice for them. Thank you so much.
Police announced the arrest of a man accused of killing a woman following an argument over a bowling ball.
We want to get straight out to CBS 46's Tori Cooper, who's live outside the Fulton County Jail. She spoke exclusively with the victim's mother right after all of this happened. And Tori, you said homicide detectives were very confident they would find the person responsible.
Rob, that's right. Homicide detectives told me early on in this investigation that surveillance video that they captured from the Metro Fun Center that day was going to be very key in solving this case and tracking down a suspect. And late last night, that's exactly what happened. Police say they arrested and charged 25-year-old Joshua Fleetwood with the felony murder of 31-year-old Lakevia Jackson, who was shot and killed at the bowling alley. Now, when we first learned about this is what the area looked like. We're setting the scene for you outside of the Metro Fun Center. Police tell us that Lakevia Jackson got into a fight with someone over a bowling ball, and that shortly after she was shot and killed in the parking lot.
Man, I mean, you don't want to get into an altercation with a super gremlin. Just heal, bro. All right, you got it, bro. Just keep it moving. Male, female, I did a story, the community activist guy, he said she wasn't even heavily involved in the argument, but maybe dude knew he was Thug's girl and wanted to earn some quote unquote stripes, as they call it in the streets. So you never know what type of motive these guys have on doing it. But well, I mean, we all know the motive. It's to be a super gremlin on demon time.
After this all happened, I did manage to track down Lakevia's mother, who then told me that the reason her daughter was at this bowling alley that night was because she was celebrating her best friend's birthday. She later told me she got a devastating call from her daughter's best friend. She listened to her daughter take her last breath over the phone that night, and she couldn't believe that this is the way her daughter lost her life.
My baby lost her life at a bowling ball. Call me just to hear my voice. I'm gonna miss that.
So many mothers deal with this type of violence in our community, but that mother for sure is someone I will not forget, Rob, Megan. It was very intense, very somber, that moment when she hugged me. It was just, you could feel the pain that she really endured when she was in that parking lot. But police have still not released any new details as it relates to a motive, and they have not released a mugshot. But throughout the morning, I'm going to be digging deeper into who Mr. Fleetwood is, and we're going to find out if he's scheduled to appear right here in court. Reporting live outside the Fulton County Jail, I'm Tori Cooper, CBS 46 News.
I'm here on the corner of MLK and Frederick Douglass, where a shooting just took place. And as you can see, it's a pretty rough area. So I'm basically risking my life reporting on this madness. So make sure you do me a favor and hit the subscribe button. Like the video, hell, share the video. And make sure you go ahead and leave a comment down in the comments section to continue the discussion on how we can find solutions to all this son violence in the streets. I'm Jaquavius Jackson, here live, reporting from Atlanta, Georgia, BGZM News 17.
All right, good evening. My name is Ralph Woolfolk, a homicide commander here in the City of Atlanta Police Department. I was asked by our public affairs team to provide an update pertaining to a March 17th investigation around 10:50 p.m. Whereby homicide detectives, we responded to 1959 Metropolitan Parkway in reference to a person shot. Upon arrival, we did in fact locate an individual having been pronounced deceased on scene. That individual was Miss Lakevia Jackson. And we did begin working in tandem with the family and with our homicide team and moving this investigation forward in a detailed and meticulous fashion as we...
Man, this guy, he definitely works hard. He's on the scene of a lot of these murders, and you know, these guys are overworked. But, you know, shout out to the Atlanta homicide division, because they're catching these guys. They are catching a lot of them, not all of them, but when they're presented an opportunity, they definitely apprehend a suspect in a timely manner
with our cases. So this too was a relentless investigation in which we worked through the night and into the next day, and trying to gather all the facts and circumstances regarding the investigation. And we are happy today to announce that our elite fugitive team was able to pick up Mr. Joshua Fleetwood, date of birth of 12/17 of 1996, in reference to...
And look how young these dudes are, 96. That's a year after I was born. I mean, sheesh.
Regarding this investigation, Mr. Fleetwood is a 16-cycle convicted felon with a slew of charges on his criminal history, from fraud to criminal trespass to fleeing and eluding police, to narcotics-related violations, and so on and so on.
So a career criminal shoots a woman in a public venue created for fun in the community. Shocking.
We are happy that Mr. Fleetwood is in our custody, and we did want to provide some additional context pertaining to this incident as a result of the inquiries that we received from the public regarding this case. So as we've indicated before, on many other instances of homicide, unfortunately, in the city of Atlanta, about 41% of our homicides are attributed to escalating disputes. And this is simply where people do not resolve conflict well. And we have asked...
So 41% of the homicides in Atlanta are excuse my French, but nigga moments. All right, if you guys seen the Boondocks, you know what it is. And honestly, you can't even stop that. How can you stop that? But if you can get rid of that other 60%, then you'll be in a decent standing. You can't stop the nigga moment. You can't stop it. But, you know, everything else you can kind of control, possibly.
To work together to try to resolve these conflicts without having to escalate to incidents like this of gunfire and physical altercations. In the particulars of this case, on video evidence as depicted, these persons went into this location with the intention of bowling. One of the parties was on a date, being the shooter, in which we now have in custody, and Miss Lakevia Jackson's family, in which was there to bowl. And they went inside, and as depicted on video, they got in an argument over a bowling ball. They were on adjacent lanes in which the time they were bowling, and that argument escalated. At no point was there any weapons inside of the location. At no point did anyone come there with the intentions of hurting anyone or fighting.
So you're on a date with a woman, and you're supposed to be having a good time, and you're worried about murking somebody, getting on demon time and killing somebody. Like, how are you that mad when you got a girl next to you trying to have a good time, and apparently it was just random? Okay? But maybe he did know who she was. Maybe she said something like trying to tout him. You know how a lot of sisters' tongues can be, not victim blaming at all. But he said it's apparent that in the footage you can see that they were arguing. I would definitely like to see that footage, but you know, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. You can't go nowhere.
This was not a drive-by or any type of targeted, isolated incident in that type of regard as might have been asserted by the public at some points throughout the investigation. This was simply an escalating dispute as depicted on video, and it carried over out into the parking lot, in which the two ladies agreed to engage in a physical altercation. And unfortunately, during that time, one of the parties went to the car to retrieve a weapon. And as a result of that individual going to get a weapon, the other party did the same, and subsequently shots were exchanged in the parking lot.
Wow. So it was like that. It was up from there. Okay, let's run that back.
And it carried over out into the parking lot, in which the two ladies agreed to engage in a physical altercation. And unfortunately,
okay, you hear that? The two women, which is the girlfriend of the super gremlin Joshua, agreed. So Lakevia and Joshua's girlfriend agreed to fight in the parking lot. Sisters, you're grown. Stop trying to set it off and fight and we'll take this outside and da-da-da-da. Stop it. You're grown. Now there are real consequences, grown consequences, and this could happen in a high school. Think back to the video that I did about the woman in Stone Mountain who brought the strap to the school. When it comes to the community, you can get clapped anywhere. So sisters, y'all gotta stop being so quick to just want to throw hands and hook and stuff like. That's not what ladies do. Okay? It's crazy.
One of the parties went to the car to retrieve a weapon. And as a result of that individual going to get a weapon, the other party did the same, and subsequently shots were exchanged in the parking lot, and a vehicle left the scene, still firing upon the deceased individual in this case, who was struck by the barrage of gunfire having.
Dang, so while he driving off, he still starts shooting at. He's still shooting at her, driving off. I'm telling you, these super gremlins are angry for no reason. For no reason. It did not have to get to that.
In this case, who was struck by the barrage of gunfire having come from that car. So, as we've indicated before, this office, we cannot subject investigations to public opinion. We cannot assume things in investigations. We have to work as we do day in and day out on facts and evidence. As in this case, as depicted, we were able to get a clear depiction as to what happened here regarding this investigation. And we will continue to do that, and working in a professional, working in an ethical, and working in a resilient and persistent capacity to make sure that we get the details right on each and every one of these cases, as we owe that to the public, and we take a considerable amount of pride in the work in which we do here in our office. So we did want to provide that update as requested by our public affairs team, and we look forward to continued work out of our office in keeping our city safe. Thank you.
Gang violence and other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, at school, in my car, and I can still get shot by the police. I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.